News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Restrictions go into effect tomorrow. No fireworks. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Wednesday, July 1st, 2015. It's another beautiful morning in western Montana, clear and dry, 62 degrees right now. Our newscast this morning is sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excavation excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. This morning's top story, Missoula County Commissioners voted yesterday to enact Stage 1 fire restrictions, which will be enforced starting tomorrow morning. County Operations Officer Chris Lounsbury told our John King these restrictions will ban open campfires in the county and will also affect Independence Day celebrations.
One of the things particularly pertinent this time of year, of course, is that it will ban fireworks in Missoula County over the 4th of July weekend due to the recent hot weather and extremely dry fuels out in the forest. It has been many years since we've been this dry in July, so there was quite a bit of conversation about what the process was for going into Stage 1 and what that would mean for citizens. Not a decision the commissioners obviously take lightly.
Lounsbury says Missoula County's drying out months faster than usual.
Look at the weather that's out there and how dry everything already is here in July, a condition we're normally not at until late August. In Missoula County, it was the move the commissioners decided to make sure that citizens were safe. And it's also, of course, another educational tool to put out there for folks so that if they do choose to recreate out in the forest in some way or even on their own property, that they recognize how dry it really has become this early in the year.
The talk didn't stop at banning fireworks. Lounsbury says the county commissioners also discussed Stage 2 fire restrictions and said he wouldn't be surprised if they would be enacted this year. The last time that happened was the year 2000. And, of course, Lake and Ravalli counties also banning fireworks on public and private lands ahead of the 4th of July weekends. Flathead, Sanders, and Lincoln counties in western Montana also will be under Stage 1 restrictions starting on Friday, meaning that campfires are not allowed, smoking is only allowed within an enclosed vehicle, building, or developed recreation site. 37-year-old Shane Childress appeared in Missoula Justice Court yesterday, charged with 3 felonies, including attempted deliberate homicide, after allegedly stabbing his girlfriend in the head with a knife. Missoula County Attorney Kirsten Pabst explained the request for $250,000 bail.
One, they're a community safety risk, which is evident by the charges. A flight risk. There are no ties to the Missoula community, and there's a possibility of either destruction of evidence or tampering with witnesses, which is another one of the charges.
Pabst also apprised Judge Karen Orzak of Childress's extensive criminal record.
Mr. Childress is a persistent felony offender, that he's currently out on bail in Butte-Silver Bowl County for a drug charge that involved exposure of the methamphetamine to his young children.
According to court documents, Childress has been charged with 3 felonies, attempted deliberate homicide, assault with a weapon, and tampering with evidence, along with the misdemeanor charge of partner or family member assault. Judge Orzak did place Childress back in jail on $250,000 bail. A sentencing hearing for a former high school girls basketball coach who pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting one of his players has been delayed. The Bozeman Daily Chronicle newspaper reports that Sile Keith Kokot will be sentenced August 24th. His hearing, which was scheduled for yesterday, was pushed back after his attorney asked the judge for more time to complete Kokot's sexual offender evaluation. A Missoula woman fled from her home early yesterday morning when she awoke to find a strange man standing over her holding a knife. Public Information Officer Travis Welsh with the Missoula Police Department said the incident occurred about 5:30 yesterday morning.
Report of a male who had entered a residence in the 2500 block of South 3rd Street without permission. Resident was asleep in the living room in the house and awoke to find this male standing over the top of her, and he was also holding a knife in his hand.
Welsh described what happened next.
Our resident ran from the house where she borrowed a phone, called 911, and by the time officers arrived, the suspect was no longer in the house and is still at large.
She described the suspect as a white male adult in his 20s or 30s with strawberry blonde hair and a beard. She said he was wearing a black or blue shirt and plaid shorts. Anybody with information on this incident asked to call Crime Stoppers, 721-4444, or the Missoula Police Department, that number 552-6300. 2 adults and 3 juveniles have been charged with spray painting graffiti and committing other vandalism at Sluice Box's State Park in the Little Belt Mountains. State Game Warden Quinn Kuka used the initials included in the graffiti to identify those responsible for the vandalism that was discovered back in May. The Great Falls Tribune reports 19-year-old Jared Hall of Great Falls was fined $500 for criminal mischief, while 19-year-old Antonio Tigart faces a criminal mischief charge. 2 juveniles face criminal mischief charges, while a third faces a charge of damaging state property. Last weekend, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks had to euthanize a grizzly bear after the bear killed sheep near Lincoln. Vivica Krauser has details.
It's a bear that had gotten in trouble with sheep before, and so when that happens, we often put an ear tag in those bears and relocate them in the hopes that we won't see them again. Unfortunately, this bear did turn back up. We were able to identify it with the tag, and then using remote cameras, confirm that it was the bear responsible for the recent depredations and set a trap for it.
Wildlife officials discovered from tagging records that the bear had killed 3 sheep at the same location in 2012 and had been relocated to the South Fork of the Flathead River at that time. The grizzly was a male, weighing in at over 400 pounds. Federal wildlife officials have rejected a petition from advocates who sought to reclassify gray wolves as a threatened species in most of the U.S. Gray wolves across much of the lower 48 are classified as endangered, which is more protective than a threatened designation. Advocates hope the change to threatened would preempt intervention from members of Congress who want to lift federal protections altogether. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service said in a notice yesterday that the petitioners did not sufficiently back up their claims that wolves remain at risk due to disease and other factors. 3 law enforcement agencies will be teaming up this 4th of July weekend to keep drunk and impaired drivers off the road. Sergeant Greg Amundsen with the Missoula Police Department said his agency will be working in concert with the Missoula County Sheriff's Office and the Montana Highway Patrol this holiday weekend. Amundsen offered this advice.
What I always say is if you're going downtown to celebrate or going to a friend's house to celebrate, the best plan I think is just not even take your car, take public transportation or a taxi or something like that there, and it removes the temptation to drive once you become impaired. We don't do warnings for DUIs ever, really. So, I mean, that's kind of our policy. If we stop you for DUI, you're going to get arrested for DUI.
From 2009 to 2013, nearly 40% of all traffic fatalities over the 4th of July holiday occurred in alcohol-impaired driving crashes. In 2013, Forbes magazine named the Independence Day holiday, quote, the most dangerous holiday of the year, end quote. News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
The dry, hot weather will continue. Today's forecast calls for high temperatures in the low 90s. Winds will be breezy with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. Low 90s again on Thursday with their highs right around 100 for Friday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.